Hello and welcome, this is Oldmanpoole. I'm jumping into my very first M19 Draft League. I am super excited. This format's super sweet. I've only played it once. I got to do only one pre-release event this weekend, which is less than I usually like to do. I haven't seen this card yet. Beginning of your upkeep, target opponent pulls the top 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. Then you draw a card for each land card put into the graveyard that way. Beginning of your upkeep. This seems not terrible, actually. I mean, I actually haven't really seen a mill deck in the format yet, but people tell me that it does exist. 3 cards per turn is kind of a lot. And the fact that you do get to draw, like, probably an average of, like, 1, maybe, like, 1.5 lands off of it seems pretty sweet. I'm not sure how often we're given a chance to play with this card. It may just end up being bad, but I think this might be, like, a legit win condition. So we're gonna take Patient Rebuilding. Sounds sweet. As we get into the draft a little bit more, I do want to say thanks so much for everyone that subscribed to the channel, everyone that likes and comments on all the videos. It means an awful lot to me, really helps other people find me on YouTube. You guys are the best. Thanks so much. I couldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys, so like I said, can't say thank you enough. I've also got 2 cool events coming up this next week. I have the opportunity to be part of the Wizards M19 preview event for Magic Arena. That's on Wednesday, and I'll actually be streaming on Twitch, which I'm usually a YouTube sort of guy, but if you guys want to come and check me out there, I'd be happy to see you guys all in person. That starts at 2 o'clock Pacific time, and then I've got 20 beta codes for Arena to give out, so if you don't already have an Arena beta entry, now is a great time to pick one up. And I guess let's talk about this pack, and I'll talk about the other event in just a second. I think this pack's pretty easy on Switcheroo. This is quite impressive to me in every format I've seen it. The fact that you can frequently trade a pretty bad creature for your opponent's bomb is good. It's not like straight up mind control, it's a little bit expensive, but oftentimes when you want this effect, it's a little bit later in the game anyway. Other cool cards are Fountain of Renewal, I think might be pretty fun in like the life gain deck, and Scholar of Stars is probably pretty good in the artifact deck, but let's just take Switcheroo. I think it's sweet with Patient Rebuilding, might help us really get into a like cool control deck. We have 2 pretty good finishers already. Right, the other event is on Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. I'm going to be part of the Elder Dragon Race, which is hosted by another YouTuber, Riptide Project Laboratory. And he's a sweet guy, been really great to work with on this. And that's also going to be on Arena. The whole shtick is you get to choose one of the Elder Dragons, and you have to build your rest of your deck just out of commons and uncommons. And you're going to try and win a league off of it. So I'm racing with, I think, 8 other YouTubers or Twitch streamers at this point. And whoever gets there first is awesome. Alright, so lots of advertisements. Sorry about that. We'll get right into the draft. If you won't talk about it anymore, I'll have relevant links for those things if you want to find out more about them. Let's talk about draft. Mistcaller. Doesn't seem great. Probably a constructed card. Reclamation Sage is pretty good, like, upside and value. I maybe just want, like, Snapping Drake here. This card's pretty impressive as kind of a flyer's payoff. Manolith might be sweet. I can kind of see either of those 2 cards, honestly, but I think Snapping Drake's just a little bit more powerful in general. Ooh. How greedy can I be? Chaos Wand seems pretty cool, too. We get to exile cards off our opponent's library, but they go on the bottom, right? Yeah, it's not actually a mill effect, but we do get to play instants and sorceries they have. We may be being a little bit too slow. Chaos Wand is cool, though. I kind of want to try it. I'm not sure it's actually really particularly good, but it's early in the format. I think I'm just going to kind of take rares and see it going here. I can see this pick just being like Gallant Cavalry, and maybe it still is. Totally Lost is fine as well, but I don't know. Maybe we are being a little bit too greedy. Let's take Chaos Wand though. Let's see where it goes. Surge Mare's pretty good, right? 0/5. It is double blue, which is kind of expensive, but we're starting to look like a heavier blue deck anyway at this point. When it deals damage to an opponent, you can draw a card, but you also just have the opportunity to do kind of the Water Serpent ability and pump it if you need to, or I guess you can't shrink it. That is a pretty big downside. What's Fraying Omnipotence? Each player loses half their life, then discards half their cards in hand, sacrifices half the creatures they control. It's each player, though. It doesn't seem super good. I think I'm just going to take Surge Mare. It seems solid. Dwindle's probably fine. Not like absurd removal, but okay removal. And nothing else here looks real exciting. Starcrown Stag, Totally Lost. Gearsmith Guardian. Guardians, I mean, we are going to be in blue, it looks like, so that's not terrible, but we're kind of got some expensive stuff already. On the other hand, what else are we playing here? Gearsmith Prodigy's not good. Trusty Pack Beast isn't terrible, although if I'm taking a white card, it should probably be Starcrown Stag. This is, like, probably a slightly worse Territorial Hammerskull, but that card was nuts a couple of formats ago. But on the other hand, we're looking more controlling, so that doesn't seem absurd. Maybe we just want, like, Totally Lost? Yeah, maybe we'll take that. I'm not really sure on that pick. We're taking some expensive stuff here. Okay, if this pack will load, we have Ether Tunnel and Ghost Form, neither of which I think are particularly good, especially given how this deck is starting to shape up. We've got a couple of like okay black cards. Bristling Boar's okay, Hired Blade's okay. Nothing that like really jumps out at me. Nothing in blue for just to stay on colors. I guess like Hired Blade's probably better than either of these two. And I do, like, being in black would not be bad. And these, while these are not, like, powerful cards, there may be a little bit of a signal that black isn't, like, at least crazy overdrafted. Ooh, there's Declare Dominance. So I played this in my first sealed event. I'm not really sure how good it is. This is not the deck for it, but it is interesting. Like, it felt like this card is either absurdly good or really bad, kind of depending on how things end up working out in each individual game. It's really, really good if there's a board stall, and bad if you're behind. I'm just going to take Divination here. I think this seems like a solid card. Seems to be in the sort of the line of the deck we want to be playing. Ooh, another Surge Mare. I do think this card is good. I mean, mostly we're just playing it as a big wall that we can trade with, but it does have upside. If it's on an open board, you can swing with it, and it can't be blocked by green creatures, which isn't nothing. Disperse isn't bad either, but I think Surge Mare is just something we kind of want, actually. Nothing great here. I guess Macabre Waltz might make the cut. It's not fantastic. It's not actually card advantage, but it can get back like your really good bomb if we end up picking up a creature bomb. Sure. Tolarian Scholar might be where we are now, or just another Wall of Mist. Yeah, maybe we're just trying to slow down the deck, and maybe I think Wall of Mist is actually better than Tolarian Scholar for doing that. Infectious Horror doesn't seem great, and you're just Sovereign's Bite. It does look like black is a little bit open, even those aren't really signals either. Take a Field Creeper here. I do think it's better than Gearsmith Prodigy. Gonna hope we don't have to play it, but I think outside of an artifact sort of synergy mattered stack, Field Creeper is probably gonna be pretty bad. Dress is a good sideboard card. Prodigy. Okay, so we're pretty close to mono blue here. If we open up just like a really great bomb or something, we're definitely gonna abandon the Hired Blade. But if we don't see much, I think we're going to try and stick to black, since we do need some removal, and black is often one of the best colors for that. And we've also got, like, it seemed at least medium open last pack. Mentor of the Meek. Also Gravedigger. Nothing really good in blue. Interesting. So Mentor of the Meek is really good. Works well with all of our walls. Is it good enough to give up on black for? Might be. Not sure we're gonna end up with tons and tons of cards that this like triggers off of. It is pretty powerful though. Gravedigger is a very, very good candidate as well though. Just being able to get back any creature, that can be very, very powerful card advantage as well. Angel of the Dawn's good, but kind of not in the deck we're looking at. And I don't like Skeleton Archer, Sky Scanner, Anticipate, and Divination are all cards I would play. Archer and Sky Scanner are probably better than the other two. Well, Divination's probably pretty good. And do we just jam? I think I want Gravedigger. Black just seemed a lot more open. I think I really do want removal, so I think I'm going to take Gravedigger, although Mentor of the Meek will have to have its day one of these times too. There's an Arcane Encyclopedia, which is another good card advantage engine. How greedy can we be? We really have like no removal. Feels bad to take Explosive Apparatus or Shock here though. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the Encyclopedia. Greed, 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 greed. It's early in the format, right? No one's gonna know what's going on. Dark Dweller Oracle is a 2/2 for 2, sacrifice a creature, exile type card your library. Wait, play that creature. That's fine, I guess. You can trade bad cards in for maybe better cards late in the game. I don't think it's what we really are trying to shift towards. When Citrage's supplier enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard. If it's our opponent, we may actually try and make that work with Patient Rebuilding. I might just be online for like a Sky Scanner here. Not super, super efficient, but it is fine. Nothing else here just really knocks out of the park. Like Shadow Knight's fine. Another Arcane Encyclopedia is probably going a little bit too deep for us. Another Hired Blade or Suspicious Bookcase. Bookcase is mostly just a worst Wall of Mist. Because once in a while it might let us crack in for a couple points of damage. I really don't think we can afford to play 2 of these cards. They're pretty bad in multiples, and it's pretty slow just on its own. I guess we're going to take the Bookshelf. I think we'll have opportunities at more Hired Blades later. I don't think Bookshelf is great, but I think it is what we're taking. Amulet of Safekeeping. Whenever you become the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that ability or spell unless they pay 1. Creature tokens get -1. Oh, and -0. Probably just kind of a constructed card. Like, we're not real likely to run into a whole lot of tokens here. Rise from the Grave, Snapping Drake. It's like all our stars. Really haven't seen much removal. I'm kind of worried about this. We're playing a control deck that may just have like no interaction. I mean, these cards kind of count as removal, but we do want to be able to answer bombs too. I think we're going to take Rise from the Grave though. This is pretty good. If we do find a couple more removal spells, you can always get back your opponent's best card, or you can buy back something on our end. Snapping Drake is powerful, but I think Rise from the Grave is a little bit better, even though we're a little bit glutted at 5. Ooh, okay. Psychic Corrosion's nice. I think we're taking that over some pretty good other options. Like, I would probably play another Divinate, wouldn't hate a Disperse, but we're trying to do the mill deck, right? And Psychic Corrosion is quite good for that. This card does mill, right? It feels like it shouldn't, but target opponent plus top 3 cards to the library's graveyard. Yeah, alright. Like, when I look at Patient Rebuilding, it seems like it's a bad card. It just screams bad to me, but I think that's what we're trying for. Ooh, Mystic Archaeologist. Man, that is a pickup this late. Wow, yeah, that's great. Even Windmage would also be very stellar, and I think I do want Explosive Apparatus at this point, but Mystic Archaeologist is just a house. Apex of Power. Exile the top 7 cards of your library. Until on turns, you may cast non-land cards exiled this way. The mana was cast from your hand, add 10 mana. Oh, it costs 10. That's kind of funny. I didn't even look at the converted mana cost. I guess Hired Blade. Don't think we really need the Frilled Sea Serpent. I don't think that's how we're trying to win this game. I really wish this hit your opponent, but it just does not. Yeah, Hired Blade it is. Anticipate, Divinate, Forsaken Sanctuary. I think Divinate's enough better than Anticipate that we should probably go for that. This does dig, I guess, 1 card deeper, but Divinate is actual card advantage, whereas Anticipate isn't. Yeah, we're gonna have to really hope to pick up some of like the black removal in this last pack. Not much here. I guess I'll take Ravenous Harpy. I think it's better than Infectious Horror, but I'm honestly not really hoping to play it. Sacrificing a creature is a pretty steep cost in this deck. Another Wall of Mist may well make the cut. Wish some of these blocked flyers. Ghost Forms, just kind of whatever. Definitely not something you want to play in this deck. Maybe in like a crazy tempo-y deck it would be okay, but really not a card we're excited about. Yeah, I think we're going to take Hired Blade. Blood Divination doesn't seem real good. Blade is not either, but yeah, we're going to take Highland Land over Bone Dash. This card can be okay, but I think the upside of maybe splashing like red removal or something's not terrible. And actually Mind Rot may end up making the cut. It's not terrible. Right. Okay, Lich's Crest. We did it, guys. We did. Okay, I was basically just looking around for that card. Elvish Clancaller is pretty cool. I actually not sure how good it's going to be in draft. I actually don't really know how many elves there are. Probably a not terrible amount. I would definitely play Gargoyle Sentinel, would play Snapping Drake, but yeah, we just really need the removal, and Lich's Crest is actually, I think, pretty good removal. The 3 life is not an irrelevant upside. So really happy to see that. I would probably take like 2 more of them if they came around. Yeah, another Mentor of the Meek. Definitely could have gone deep on that. Wow, this pack has like nothing for us. Infectious Horror, Infernal Scarring, and Vampire Neonate are all pretty mediocre. I mean, we go Bloodlord, I guess is fine. It's not anything we're splashing for. Maybe we should just take Mentor of the Meek. I mean, we actually do have like a lot of hits. If we find a white land, we might splash for it. I mean, pretty much all of our creatures do it. We don't have tons and tons of creatures, but we also take like a cancel. That feels so mediocre. Yeah, I guess we're gonna take Mentor of the Meek. Funny, we could have had 2 of them in the deck. But Lich's Crest makes it all worthwhile. One more, like murder something in the next couple of picks would make me really happy. Yeah, nothing fantastic here for us. I think we're just gonna take Aven Windmage, which I do think is definitely solid, but not busted either. I want to make the Satyr Enchanter deck work at some point, but I actually don't know if that deck's any good. Enchantments are always a little bit of a, or at least auras are a little bit of a tough thing to swallow in draft. Just because they do get wrecked by removal so impressively. Okay, another Sky Scanner. Think better than another Suspicious Bookcase. Do we want Dwindle? Actually, maybe we want Dwindle. This does answer some like big threats. It's not great removal, but I think we just do need removal. Yeah, alright. Dwindle I think is better. Aviation Pioneer. Perfectly fine. Another Dwindle. And some other just kind of whatever cards. It's kind of funny that we've gotten the opportunity to get 3 Arcane Encyclopedias. I'm pretty sure we're happy with just 1. Aviation Pioneer is pretty, like, solid. But honestly, Dwindle might just be more important for this deck. We're just really hoping to, like, stall out the game, and I think that this does as good a job as with dealing with a flyer as Aviation Pioneer will. Okay, another Surge Mare is pretty good. Magistrate Scepter. Put a charge counter on it, and remove 3, take an extra turn. That's pretty expensive. I mean, taking an extra turn is obviously sweet, but it costs like 15 mana and at least 3 turns to take an extra turn. Ugh, yeah, it doesn't seem good. Surge Mare, pretty cool. Yeah, probably take it over another Divination. And Rise from the Grave again. Or Hired Blade. I think Rise from the Grave is just best. I'm actually not positive we'd play 2, maybe against some opponents. This is kind of cool with the milling synergies. Bone to Ash, Totally Lost, or Aven Windmage. Yeah, not actually sure here. Bone to Ash kind of starts looking a little bit better given how light we are on removal. I mean, we have Lich's Crest and Switcheroo are kind of our 2 main outs. Maybe hope to hit it like off Mind Rod or something, but for the most part, we're going to have to be really, really cautious with our removal, which is not where you want to be in a more controlling deck. Could just see this being a Wind Mage pickup. Totally Lost is fine. I think we're just going to take the Wind Mage, though. Uncomfortable Chill. Actually, this is probably an okay sideboard card, right? If you've got like a... I couldn't really figure out what the art was for a second. That's kind of funny. If your opponent's got like a go wide strategy and tries to do like some sort of pump effect, it could not be terrible. Gearsmith Guardian is just like a 5/5 in this deck. At least very, very likely to be a 5/5. I think I actually might want the Chill as a sideboard. I can see that being quite good in some matchups. And Neonate over Poop, although we're not going to play the Neonate either. Reliquary Chowder, because the card is cool. Field Creeper over or not stuff we want. Walking Corpse, I don't think this deck needs to play because we have so many quality walls at the 2-drop slot. And we do have like, we have got a brick of 2-drops here that hopefully will do a good job of dealing with my opponent's aggression. Yeah, I think this deck is fine. I would like it to be... I'd like more removal. I think that's really the biggest failing of the deck. I think we picked fairly aggressively what we did see, but it's still maybe not going to be fantastic. I think I'm actually cutting Hired Blades. Don't think we need them most of the time. Maybe cut Suspicious Bookcase too. And just rely on these guys to hopefully help us get the job done. Those cards all seem pretty solid though. It's funny, I guess we only have 3-drop and 5-drop spells. I want to try out Chaos Wand. It may not be fantastic, but I think if there's a deck where it's good, it is this deck. Arcane Encyclopedia, kind of the same deal. I want both Dwindles. I'm probably only going to play 1 Rise from the Grade. It's kind of expensive. It's kind of bad in a lot of cases too. This is 24 right now. This deck's definitely not opposed to hitting land drops with things like Encyclopedia and Chaos Wand as good like mana sinks, and even Mystic Archaeologist is super solid. I could see playing 18. Maybe we'll cut 1 Divination, even though it is super cool with Psychic Corrosion. I think we're just going to trust that this is, between that and Patient Rebuilding, enough on its own. Man, I've not sure I've ever played a mill deck in draft. If I have, it's been a long time. It seems cool though. I feel like the worst card remaining is maybe Mind Rot. Really don't hate Mind Rot, but I think it might get the axe here so that we can play 18 lands. And I think this, like I said, with a good number of like late game sort of mana sinks, and really a pretty strong desire to get up and to hit land drops early on, I think 18 lands actually seems okay. Not sure I'm going to go quite that heavy on islands, especially given the Lich's Caress is double black. We are definitely heavy blue here, though. Maybe we do like 11-7. Lich's Caress is the main thing we want to play off black. I actually hadn't realized how we're pretty close to mono blue. Kind of funny. Yeah, I think 11-7 though. That seems okay. Okay, deck seems pretty sweet. We'll see if control/mill/general dirtling around is good in this format, but I think if it is, this deck is going to be pretty solid. See you guys for match 1. Alright, first draft match of the format. Here we go. We won the dice roll. This deck actually might want to play second, actually, now that I think about it. We're pretty slow. Might depend on the opponent. Well, this is a very blue hand that we have to toss back, unfortunately. Sounds quite a bit better. The opponent has also mulligan to 6. We're going to go ahead and keep. So at least we're on even footing. And I actually think our deck is probably good with mulligans. If we were both to start out with relatively little, I think my deck provides a lot of card advantage and would rather things be slow. I think we're going to bottom Rise from the Grave. It is solid, but we don't have a whole lot of things that are going to work for it just yet. And it's expensive, so just going to bottom that, I think. Start off with an island. We actually don't have any of our 2-drops, which is kind of crazy. We have a lot of 2-drop walls. Okay, Plains, no play. There's the Surge Mare right on time. Okay. That's true. That was kind of fortunate that I didn't get bit there, because Surge Mare being double blue means I always want to start off with an island. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I could just go for it. I actually don't really know what's in the format that would punish us. Getting free damage seems kind of nuts, although also getting Psychic Corrosion online seems pretty good too. This probably won't be able to attack going forward. Is the card advantage better? It also potentially, I don't know if there's like a Gideon's Reproach sort of effect in the format. I know there is the one that's a destroy target tapped creature, but that's a sorcery speed. I want to go for it. I think I might just get Psychic Corrosion into play. Start the mill game. Alright, Psychic Corrosion. Let's just pass. Alright, the gig is up. This is a pretty obvious opening for what we're trying to do, but hopefully it's sweet. Yeah, Centaur Courser does not look super good against the Surge Mare. Alright. Opponent mills Remorseful Cleric, which seems solid, and Tranquil Expanse. They did hit a land drop, which is nice. Do I want to play Sky Scanner to try and draw a card? I think that's actually more important than Aven Windmage in this deck. But like Turbo Mill doesn't matter as much, but keeping hitting land drops and finding maybe even more gas, I think it's just maybe even a little bit better. And the 2 points of damage that we get in from Aven Windmage is just not really how we're planning on winning this game. We got a Sky Scanner of our opponents and a Forest. And this no longer has particularly good attacks against the Courser, but that's okay. So we have Dwindle for any like really scary big threat. Gallant Cavalry. A good card, but not one that matches up like crazy well against our Wall of Mist and Surge Mare. Surge Mare is, in particular, will do a very good job of answering knights. Cavalry Drillmaster seems like a solid card, and Luminous Bonds. Glad to get the Luminous Bonds out of the way. I think I want to play Wall of Mist and keep up mana for the Surge Mare rather than playing the Wind Mage. Is that correct? Keeping mana up for the Surge Mare means my opponent can't really attack. On the other hand, Wind Mage is more efficient on the mana, and we're actually still only taking, I guess, 2 damage in that case. Does that 2 damage matter much? Even Wind Mage, just I don't think getting it into play matters too much. I think Wall of Mist is just better here. Like, Wind Mage is definitely solid, but with Psychic Corrosion going, we're just trying to play as slowly, as defensively as possible, I think. A Bristling Boar. There are no good attacks here, yeah. Okay, just a couple lands from my opponent that time around. Still haven't seen anything we need to dwindle. I'm just gonna pass. Again, my opponent's life total I just don't think matters, so attacking with like Sky Scanner just isn't that great. You never know when we might need it for a block. Okay, Sky Scanner for my opponent. Yes, yes, mill yourself. Bring yourself ever closer to the grave. Okay, still no attacks. Okay, Snapping Drake's not a bad one. Pretty effectively just like gummed up the board here. I still think we're just better off keeping these guys back as blockers. My opponent's 16 cards, they're going down to 3 cards a round. So about 5 turns we have to survive. Militia Bugler. Okay. They reveal a card, yeah, it's down to 5 cards. They missed with the Bugler. So a go wide effect would be kind of rough. Okay, another Wall of Mist. Not terrible. Man, if this deck is actually like a thing in the format, it's gonna be super sweet. I'm really tempted to get in with the Flyers because we can hit my opponent actually fairly hard, fairly fast. But I think just leaning on Psychic Corrosion's our best bet. River. Okay, yeah, Colossal Dreadmaw will get dwindled. And yeah, pass back to my opponent. It's like a Divinate would be pretty fantastic. Just try and tear apart the last little bits of my opponent's hand. Oh, Sift. I mean, that's good. That's kind of desperate, though. That draws my opponent 3 cards deeper. That cuts off an entire turn for their action. My opponent's deck looks pretty run-of-the-mill. They're splashing for Sift, it looks like, which is interesting. I don't think bad, but interesting. Okay, so they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. We've got 6 blockers. None of their attackers are particularly big. Play our Wind Mage. I'm still just sandbagging this one swamp, give my opponent a little bit of fear that we could have something. I don't think we're going to need to like pump Surge Mare twice, for instance. Okay, opponent is getting in with everything. Makes sense. I mean, they kind of have to at some point. Alright, so let's go to blocks. We want to block. We care about the token. We're not likely to rebuy anything back. Actually, we do have balance for the token, which may be relevant. Like that, like that, like that. If they have the bonus like attack, it's going to be a little bit rough. Like if they have the +2/+1, means that's a pretty bad. But still, they just have like no time. Can we play around the +2/+1 though? Just a little bit more cautious, take a little bit more damage. Yeah, I think that's bad enough. I actually want to like block the slightly smaller stuff. That's still not too bad. We take 7 this turn, but it's just kind of whatever. Like, well, that way we have a lot of blockers next turn almost for sure. And we only need to live 1 more turn, 1 more attack step. I guess it's actually 8 damage. I miscounted. Forgot about the Druid of the Cal, but okay, no blocks. Do I want to activate Surge Mare and get greedy? Opponent was betting we would. Okay, they do have Inspired Charge, so I'm glad we played around it. A little bit rough, the Surge Mare is going to bite the dust. We do take a reasonable amount of damage now. Down to 4? That was actually more than I thought. Oh, darn. I guess I didn't play around as well as I thought I was going to. Come on, Divinate. They're into 2 cards. No! We're dead, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we go like block biggest, and then like block, or I guess block. Let's see, block biggest, 1 more block. We're still taking 1, 2, just a little bit too much. Oh, Mill, you betrayed me. Why couldn't we have gotten rid of the Inspired Charge? Alright, well, we'll make my opponent attack us. So close, so close. Yeah, pretty obvious attack, though. I mean, you just don't win otherwise. Let's see. Wait, I guess, yeah, I don't know. We played around it, I kind of feel like as best as we could, but still just wasn't quite enough. Ah, so close. Alright, well, now that the gig is up, I'm a little bit more concerned, too. Well, it seems good against my opponent. Divinate, actually, I think maybe we should just have in the main deck. Because we did kind of run out of gas, which isn't something I want to happen. Mind Rod actually might be pretty good if they're trying to sandbag and build up to that effect. Iron Blades seem kind of whatever. Totally Lost didn't seem absurd. Actually, Switcheroo didn't seem fantastic either. My opponent's just not playing anything that's like that huge. It's just a whole bunch of kind of middle of the road green creatures. Chaos Wand seemed pretty bad. Okay, so I think let's run this. Darn. We're so close. So close. I guess I should have maybe gone with it with the flyers. Okay, this hand's pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep. Got Surge Mare. My opponent didn't look like they had much that answered Mystic Archaeologist. They had like one Luminous Bonds, but that just doesn't do much. We're gonna need to start divinating at some point, which is pretty cool. It's even better than divinate because it doesn't cost us a card to cast. So I guess it's more like opportunitying. No, opportunities 4. What's a 3-card draw? I can't think of one. I'm sure there are lots. So that Surge Mare right on time. This turn, I think we probably will attack if my opponent doesn't have a 2-drop. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get our advantage while we can here. What was the... Oh yeah, they're both slashing for Sift. That's right. And this is when it deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Discard a card. I wonder if that's actually not even that great. I kind of like everything we have in our hand. I was thinking it would just draw, but it is loot. I would just rather divinate, probably. Getting rid of a land, I guess maybe isn't terrible, since we're likely to draw more. I don't think we even attack, though. I think I'd just rather divinate. And just get the legit card advantage. Okay, the fact this is a loot effect is still a great card, but I think a little bit less good. Militia Bugler. It's crazy my opponent missed on that last game. Would they? No, they went down to... They would have gone down to 0 cards in the library, so actually wouldn't have mattered anyway. Man, they missed again. Pretty unlucky, I think. Okay, let's Snapping Drake. Next turn we'll play Mystic Archaeologist and Aven Wind Mage. And this time around we are definitely going to try and beat down with flyers. Since we don't have our mill condition running just yet. Forceful Cleric. Pretty good answer for the Snapping Drake, honestly. That's okay. You know, I think we just kind of have to offer the trade. I don't have a great answer for that going forward. So, good thing for my opponent, but I think that trade is going to happen inevitably kind of at some point. Yeah, let's play the Archaeologist. This card's good. That's true, it's got mill synergy too, at least with Psychic Corrosion. Think of the value, guys. It did turn out we kind of wanted to pitch a land off Surge Mare, but divinating also wasn't bad. It found us our flyers, or I guess our Wind Mage. Bristling Boar, perfectly fine. Not stellar, but perfectly fine. Okay. So we're just gonna straight up draw some cards here, I think. Although I guess there's nothing that we're going to change our play based on that. I guess I should wait to do it on my opponent's turn. Do we want to trade 2 damage for 2 damage? The problem is we don't have particularly good blocks against the Bugler anyway. So I think we're probably just going to have to take 2 here. Seems fine. And we should have some gas off the Archaeologist next turn, I'd imagine. Okay, yeah, glad we didn't try and block. Angel of the Dawn is a problem. Go ahead and block like that. Take 5. That's a great card. And draw some cards. We can't be losing that much if we're drawing cards, right? Gravedigger to bring back like Snapping Drake. That would then block the Angel. Ooh, Patient Rebuilding though too. So let's see. Patient Rebuilding starts the mill strategy. Can then play Wall of Mist as well, and that means we're not taking damage on the ground anymore, but we do take 3 in the air next turn from the Angel. But then the turn after, we could Gravedigger plus Snapping Drake all in one turn, and we're not, I guess, getting the Snapping Drake into play anyway, so Play Patient Rebuilding. And it's really cool art. All of the glory of Amonkhet being like destroyed for Bolas. Like to feed his power. It's kind of cool. Okay. Play Wall of Mist and pass. So it is interesting to note this isn't quite prowess because it's instant or sorcery. I was expecting it to trigger off the Patient Rebuilding, but it does not. Man, this deck seems sweet, even if it's bad. Like, if this deck is bad, I don't know if I want to be good. No, invoke the divine. No, our win condition. It's okay. You can still draw Psychic Corrosion at some point. Okay, sure. Fine. I mean, I'm just gonna block. It's fine. Militia Bugler, I just guess, just to keep like the Mystic Archaeologist from getting in. Alright, so this next turn, Gravedigger, Snapping Drake. I guess there's no reason not to swing with the Wind Mage, since I'm not going to be blocking with it anyway. Oh, I'm so sad that Patient Rebuilding bit the dust. I mean, it makes sense my opponent would bring in Invoke the Divine, but I am still sad about it. Should have, I guess, swung with the Wind Mage before we did all of this, but that's okay. There's Snapping Drake, and pass. So if they have like Luminous Bonds, they have a way to get rid of this. We are taking another 3, which means we need to find something off our Mystic Archaeologist fairly quickly. Okay, Sky Scanner is good, but not like broken or anything. And again, that just brings my opponent 1 closer to death off Psychic Corrosion, right? Right? Invoke the Divine. Where are you in this set? Wait, what'd they just play? Oh, it was Luminous Bonds. Darn. Okay, alright. We are taking hits. Yep, down to 9. Okay, Encyclopedia is just kind of worse than Archaeologist. Let's go ahead and activate Archaeologist. Draw some cards. We'll find like a Dwindle. Rise from the Grave. Not looking like exceptional here. Yeah, I guess we take another 3 and say, hey, we've got a couple more draws we can go for, but not a bunch. You know what this deck needed? This deck needed more removal. Yep, not much to talk about here other than taking another 3 damage. Ooh, everything. Okay, so that probably means he's got the +2/+0. Ugh. Or +2/+1, rather. Which means we're probably forcing some pretty bad blocks. Let's do something like that. Like that. 5. I think we kind of have to eat it here. They've got it. They get to kill off the Gravedigger and the Wall of Mist. Although we do get to Rise from the Grave something next turn then. And actually maybe even like Gravedigger and kind of rebuild our board a little bit. The +2/+1 Inspired Charge is definitely the card here. That dies. That doesn't quite die. Go down to 4. Another land's not great. Go down to 1 off the Angel of Dawn. I think that's kind of what we got to do here. We have 10 mana available. We play Rise from the Grave. We have 5 mana available, which means we can Gravedigger, bring back like the Wind Mage to chump next turn potentially. Gravedigger does give us enough blockers on the ground, although the Archaeologist would be dying then. That goes block. Maybe we need to draw and hope we hit like exactly Lich's Caress. Or Switcheroo. Switcheroo would be pretty okay. Well, yeah, I guess we give him Snapping Drake. That's 2 hits. Rise from the Grave, it just doesn't feel that good. I guess we could bring out, like, oh, I guess we don't have to pay for it, though, right? Never mind, sorry. Rise from the Grave. So we bring back Gravedigger for 5, and then Gravedigger hits even Wind Mage, or I guess Wall of Mist? No, even Wind Mage. We play Wind Mage, chump. Okay, yeah, that's right. We don't have to pay for this. Although well, I guess we need Gravedigger because it, like, cascades. I kind of want to bring back the Sky Spawner, but bring back Gravedigger. And then return Windmaker, or I guess Wall of Mist, because we need to block on the ground anyway, right? block, 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 go down to 1. But then we have to find something for the angel as opposed to, we're still taking 1 though, which means if we're chumping now or chumping later, it doesn't actually matter, I don't think. And we play Wall of Mist lets us draw a card off the encyclopedia. I think we're gonna do that. My opponent's got a trick, it's all over anyway. Okay. That was a pretty good like series for us. But it's not gonna take much to finish us off. Sift, great card. Something that I think that this deck definitely could have used. Just pitching a forest. Pump spell, another Angel of Dawn. Guess they can't quite play that. Luminous Bonds. Oh, okay, declare dominance. Oh, darn. Alright, GG. Well, maybe we deserve the 0-2 right to start off. Oh man, we were so close that game 1 though. So close. Well, I mean, we'll continue playing the series. I still think the deck is cool. Maybe it's just not something you can really pull off in this format. This might be an especially bad matchup, though, too. I think we're probably better at dealing with a few large threats rather than a bunch of smaller ones. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Inspired Charge was just really good both games. I maybe could have played around it better in game 1. Probably should have spent some more time thinking about that. Anyway, I'm a little bit bummed, but that's okay. Match 2, here we go. Alright, we are back for match 2. We won the dice roll. And yeah, I'm going to take a mulligan on this one again, unfortunately. Pass that back. This hand's better. It's not great, but it's better. It does have our 1 lonely removal spell, which is pretty good, and Arcane Encyclopedia. And our opponent mulligans to 6 as well, so at least when we've been mulliganing in this series, it's been symmetrical. Alright, my opponent even took it 1 step further and mulled to 5, which is pretty brutal. They're going to put Swamp on top. Hitting lands doesn't look terrible with this hand, especially because Arcane Encyclopedia is going to start just drawing us some cards, which is sweet. Start off with our I guess we're not going to be able to find a double blue anyway for the Surge Mare in this case, but still good practice to always start with Island, I think. Okay, red's probably aggressive. Not sure that's great for us. But my opponent did go down to 5, so hopefully this is a winning possibility. On the other hand, them mulliganing means they have more cards in their deck, which means it's hard to mill them, which means we're basically at a disadvantage here, right? Ooh, okay. Dark Dweller Oracle. Sacrifice a creature, exile top card of your library. Let me play that card. Okay. I mean, that seems good. Or at least fine. I'm just going to play the Arcane Encyclopedia and pass back. Oh, this opening makes me happy, though. Dirtily Wall, Dirtily Draw spell. I played my fair amount of Jamide, is that how you say that? Tome back in the day, so this card is just better than that. Both in activated ability cost and convert mana cost. And that card was like, it was pretty bad, honestly, but it was a fun control card. This card's just better. Let's see. Ravenous Harpy. Okay, I mean, that is going to start doing some damage to us. Not a whole lot real fast, but some damage. Do we just want to use Arcane Encyclopedia here? I mean, Surge Mare doesn't do too much for us. Not bad, but it doesn't do tons either. Yeah, I think I'm going to play utilize the Encyclopedia. It's a little bit more efficient. If we draw another land off our 2 draws, then we can play Surge Mare plus the Encyclopedia next turn. Keep up that draw engine. Ravenous Harpy is pretty good. On the other hand, if they go all in on it, then Lich's Crest will probably get them pretty badly, so. Still Minotaur. Okay. Oh, it does look like they're on the beatdown strategy here. And we're going to take 3 this turn. That's not nothing. Head and block. And let's draw a card. Oh, it feels so good. And play another Surge Mare and keep up the defense. Is also nice because my opponent probably can't even swing with the Oracle unless they have a trick. And keep using Arcane Encyclopedia. Again, we're taking 1 in the air repeatedly from the Harpy, but I'm okay taking 1. And if my opponent ever starts going all in on it, we can Lich's Crest for pretty good value. And go to blocks. This makes me think Trick, since swinging with the Dark Dweller Oracle is basically just a risky proposition for my opponent outside of it. So I'm actually not going to pump this, I'm just going to let it occur, and we're going to draw a card again. No play. Yeah, I'll bet my opponent's got like some sort of combat trick then. Ooh, Chaos Wand. Probably pretty good against this opponent too. Ooh, okay, there's Psychic Corrosion. So let's play that and then Surge Mare. Get that online. We could also wait. We could draw, or we could play like Arcane, or use Arcane Encyclopedia, try and find a land. If we do, then we could drop a land and then Chaos Wand and Psychic Corrosion all in the same turn. Surge Mare's not doing tons right now. It's possible they have a Hired Blade though, and I do want to be able to block that. Yeah, I think we're just gonna run these guys out. Getting Chaos Wand in play isn't even that much better, and that's has a little bit of risk because we might not draw a land as well. Alright, Psychic Corrosion. See if we can't eat my opponent's hand pretty quick. I feel pretty good about where we're sitting right now. Especially because there's no stupid Inspired Charge in red-green, or in red-black. I think there is Trumpet Blast. I guess would not be fantastic for us. Okay, thanks. Another Hostile Minotaur, but another Hostile Minotaur we can just block. Not even trying. Alright, we get a draw card here, and mill my opponent for a couple. Oh man, this deck is so much fun. I hope this deck is like not just terrible. It might just be terrible. I guess Wind Mage is a little bit nice, although my opponent can always just sacrifice something in response to get in. Kind of want to use the Encyclopedia this turn, hope to find a land. I don't think Wind Mage actually is like even that fantastic. If we find a land, that's pretty nice. Nice. Alright. I'll play Chaos Wand. Ooh, my opponent's playing a Manolith. That is not something I expected out of this deck. Kind of interesting. Milling that actually might be pretty good for us, because it may help turn off a splash as well. What even is this deck? This deck is sweet, is what it is. That is exactly what this deck is. Okay. Can't really play around Trumpet Blast. Trumpet Blast would get us fairly badly. But again, I don't know if there's like tons we can do about it. We could just take 3. I don't actually like that though. And if they have like 1 combat trick, it's so much worse. Yeah, sure, Strike is fine. Yeah, that makes me happy that I blocked the way we did. Yeah, my opponent's offense, I mean, they mulled to 5. It's actually been a really good hand for a mull to 5. Alright, finish. Okay. We are up to 7 lands, which means we could Chaos Wand plus Arcane Encyclopedia. I actually don't know. Chaos Wand won't let you play in Sorcery at instant speed, I don't think. Never know how exactly the templating on those cards work. I don't want to do both of those though. Wind Mage is still fine. We could also Rise from the Grave like Surge Mare, but that seems kind of anemic. Yeah, let's see what my opponent's got in their deck over there. Plus we're drawing exactly 1 card out of it, right? Oh, Shock is great. So you may play that card this turn, but that'll only work if it's an instant, right? So I should probably shoot the Harpy. Could shoot the Dark Dwellers. If the Harpy eats anything, I'm not unhappy about that. Actually a little bit interesting. I think we shoot the Harpy. Gives my opponent the choice, I guess, always though. Because they can always sacrifice the Oracle away if they want. They're not going to sacrifice one of those, so maybe we shouldn't give them the option. Because if we choose the Harpy, they can always just like mitigate it. So I guess we'll just shoot the Oracle. Oh wow, my opponent didn't even use the ability. Did F6ing mean they couldn't like un-F6 there? Or I guess maybe this is... I guess it's all part of the same trigger, so you can cast it. Maybe they can't respond. I'm actually not sure exactly how Chaos Wand works. You guys will have to help me out. It might be that this is all like part of one action, so they can respond to me utilizing it, but once it's on the stack, there's nothing they can do about it. Would be interesting. Okay, this is probably big. Ooh, Meteor Golem. Probably gonna blow up the Psychic Corrosion if I had to guess. That's pretty sweet. Interesting. If they go after Chaos Wand, well, I think they just go after Psychic Corrosion. It's pretty obviously like what our deck's doing. Although my opponent's actually got some interesting choices, because they could also go after like Surge Mare. I can see a bunch of stuff. I think that I would choose Psychic Croach if I was them. That seems to be what our game plan is. There are a lot of good choices. Ooh, interesting. So going after Chaos Wand. Interesting. So that means that my opponent probably has some other pretty good spells in their deck. And they think they can beat us in, I guess, 7 turns, which is not impossible, certainly. Yeah, I mean, there's not really anything we can do about it. I'm just going to get in for 1, I imagine. Well, I guess it's actually even less than 7 turns, because we have the Arcane Encyclopedia going on. Just draw here, so we can have 6. And opponent, we hit a Child of Night. Sky Scanner's a good one. So opponent's got like Fiery Finish. It seems like a pretty solid deck. Kind of just a beat down, aggressive deck with combat tricks and removal. I mean, it's not as sweet as ours, but it does seem pretty solid. Okay, Abnormal Endurance. It's kind of good to know about. We've got 7 mana here. Means we could play like Sky Scanner and Snapping Drake. Or anything like really great to Rise from the Grave over there? Not really, right? I kind of want to find a land, as always. Snapping Drake blocking the Ravenous Harpy ends up being pretty okay, though, because my opponent would have to sacrifice 2 creatures to get it through. Yeah, let's start off with Sky Scanner, I think. For much deliberation. Mystic Archaeologist is pretty good. Still gonna keep always yielding to that. Active Treason and Viashino Pyromancer. And yeah, I think we're just gonna go for Snapping Drake. And I think we'll chump block with the Sky Scanner because we may actually end up rising it from the grave. So part of me wants to say this is just like the sweetest deck that I've ever played, but part of me also needs to remind myself that my opponent did mulligan down to Oblivion. So we could Snapping Drake, trade, and then Rise from the Grave it. Probably not bad. Trumpet Blast is still kind of ridiculously good against us. I guess I actually don't want the Meteor Golem to die, though. Because if they can bring it back again, that would be pretty bad. And it's possible they have, like, Rise from the Grave. Yeah, we're just going to trade that off. Maintain our life total as much as we can. Brawl Bash Ogre. Menace 3/3. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a creature, and it makes it bigger. Pretty good. Okay. That may end up needing to get killed. Okay, we went down to 11 cards. So we are currently sitting a little bit light on lands. We have 7. They're going to draw 1, so they're at 10. We could play Archaeologist, make them draw, or draw 2 more. That almost kills them, but not quite. I think I just want to Lich's Crest the Ogre here. Yeah, and just be as cautious as we can. Then line up for Mystic Archaeologist, like mill 2 for my opponent a little bit down the road. I guess we can actually do it even for 1 cheaper. No, never mind, that's a lie. Let's kill that. That brings us back up to 16, which is, again, pretty healthy life total. I love the art on that guy. I'm just going to sacrifice it to the Harpy. It's fine. That's true. I guess we don't gain life off of that. Okay, I think it was still not terrible. And play Mystic Archaeologist here. And then next turn, if we draw a land, we can mill my opponent for 8. Because we draw an additional 3 cards. So that's 8. And then the turn after that, my opponent's just dead. Let's again just keep up the blocking plan here. Do I want to throw the Sky Scanner in front at this point? We might use Rise from the Grave on it, or Gravedigger. Yeah, I think that's actually not terrible. Just again, all about preserving that life total. Okay, opponent did consider for a minute there, so may have something, but didn't end up mattering. Dwindle, not bad. We're not quite to the point where my opponent's just dead. I think we'll Rise from the Grave, Sky Scanner this turn. Is there anything else over there that we really want? Ogre, but nothing like just enormous and fantastic. If we Rise from the Grave, Sky Scanner, that gives us an additional 3 mana. We can play even Wind Mage. Are we killing them next turn? They'll draw 1 down to 7. When our draw comes around, that's more than enough, right? That's 8. So we actually can just play it kind of slow. Get as many blockers into play as possible, I think. So let's bring back Sky Scanner. Oh, we are 1 mana short. Oh, that was bad. Somehow I miscounted there. Unless we draw a land. Land? Land would mean everything doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, that was actually, I think, quite a bit worse than some of the other options. Wall of Mist actually made it okay. Ooh, Bone Dragon. Exile 7 cards from your graveyard, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Okay, that's actually a problem. Ooh, that's like anti-mill. Okay, okay. We're gonna have to hope to dwindle that at some point, probably, as our main way out. We do have a blocker for it, though. Sky Scanner is in play. And my opponent's dead next turn, so I don't think we lose unless there's some way they can get rid of Psychic Corrosion. Wait, oh, and Siegebreaker Giant. That's actually a good couple of cards there. I have to imagine that the Bone Dragon's coming back here. It's kind of terrifying. Because it's, I mean, we could have very well lost this game if my opponent had we'd milled this a little bit earlier. Wonder if we need to try and win off flyers. That feels kind of speculative. Next game. Ooh, Lightning Strike to our face. Alright. My opponent is going for victory. We did lose last game by 1 turn, or I guess 1 game last match. Hopefully this one does not shape out the same way. I think we're okay, unless my opponent's... I guess if they have a removal spell for Sky Scanner that also did damage... Let's see what they got. Doom Dissenter I don't think is going to cut it. So you get to chump the Bone Dragon and just everything else. Jump there for sure. They're out of cards. That should just be game. Alright, so hey, we can say we milled our opponent at least once, and they even had a Bone Dragon. Yeah. That's true, they actually can get pretty close off Doom Dissenter. It's not going to be enough, though. I guess they maybe should have blocked there, though. Good point. Yeah, I guess we should just F6. We can't do anything about all this. Ravenous Harpy is a scary guy. Okay. Opponent goes down to 3 cards in our library, and then we can just draw a couple off of our Mystic Archaeologist, and that should do it. And we don't need to show my opponent anymore. That should just be game. Cool. Hey, we milled an opponent. We milled an opponent. We'd take a long time in that game. We have to be careful. Ooh, so I guess the question is, do we want to pull out Patient Rebuilding and Psychic Corrosion? What do we play instead? Honestly, not really sure. Another Rise from the Grave, like Ravenous Harpy of our own, maybe. Bunch of Hired Blades. It's gonna be like a problem for sure. So we can't remove it tons and tons of times. I mean, if we dwindle it, that is like a clean, solid answer. I think that's our best clean, solid answer. I actually have not been like overwhelmingly impressed with Rise from the Grave so far. It's not bad for us to bring back like Sky Spawners and the like. Mind Draw doesn't work against it. The problem is we just give them so much fodder. I'm not really sure what I want. The problem is I don't think we can win if we're not doing that. We just don't have enough flyers most of the time. Drew, I guess, is another good answer to it. I think we're just gonna keep the mill plan going. Rise from the Grave has been kind of unimpressive. I think I'll just play another Divination over it. Alright. Wow. My opponent loses because of drawing a card with an empty library. I've never seen that. Oh, it feels so good. Even if we go 0-3 in this whole series, we can say we did it, right? Gonna happily keep this hand. Looks pretty solid. We actually have Dwindle, which is our nice answer to the dragon. And a couple of lands, a couple of plays. If we find 1 more land of any kind, we can divinate. That should help set up our remaining land drops. I think we're okay with where we are. Another land's not terrible. Would like to find black ideally, but it's alright. We're literally playing like 2 black cards in the deck at this point. We're playing Gravedigger and Lich's Caress, so having access to blue mana is nice. We should have 6 here. Okay, just gonna play our Surge Mare and pass back. So opponent does have a lot of the 3/3 haste for 4. Definitely need to be aware of the possibility of that. Manolith. Okay. We see what they were playing off Manolith? I don't remember. I mean, I guess it helps them get up to their golem at 7. About the only thing I can think of. So we're gonna play the Wind Mage here, and since we haven't seen anything from my opponent just yet, we will start beating down. Even though mill is the main strategy of the deck, doesn't mean we can't win otherwise. Wonder if I should be using Surge Mare a little bit more liberally. I'm using my whole turn up for card filtering, just doesn't seem that great though. Funny, I'm not sure how often you're actually going to be able to utilize that second ability. I think the card's okay even if you're not utilizing it, but obviously I think it's okay. I'm playing a strictly worse version in Wall of Mist. So Skyscanner is interesting with my opponent's play, because now the game becomes... Ooh, shock. Okay. I was going to say, am I willing to trade 2 damage for 1? But it's irrelevant. So yeah, I could have the 3/3 attacker, but actually we still have a blocker, so I think we're just going to Divinate. There's Surge Mare, not terrible. Eventually I'll be able to trade like Wall of Mist for a good card for my opponent off switcheroo. Hopefully the Bone Drake. Actually, if they play Bone Drake this turn, that would be pretty great for us. Want to get in with a Skyscanner, sounds solid. No play. Ooh, okay, so they've got big stuff over there. Is now the time I actually want to utilize the Surge Mare? I think it's unlikely they're going to have multiple hasty threats next turn. If they have removal on it, that's not even that bad for us, and I kind of do want to pitch a land and try and dig a little bit deeper. Plus, I want to use this ability at least once. Good attack. A2. Oh yeah, basically Merfolk Looter, right? Yes, we're gonna draw a card. Let's just Crest, we're a long way off playing, unfortunately. We're just gonna pitch an island here. And I guess we're gonna play a Wall of Mist. I think there's not an impossible chance I switcheroo next turn. Since they missed a land drop, if they hit a land, they might just play like the Bone Drake. In which case I'd rather trade that away than Surge Mare, and it doesn't actually matter that much on defense. Siegebreaker Giant. Also something I should probably steal. It's fine. Ooh. Or we could just dwindle it and play Mystic Archaeologist. It's a little bit interesting as well. Surge Mare also potentially blocks that fairly well. We do have to utilize 2/2/2/0s, and we would take a lot of damage from the trample. We could just dwindle it and keep up switcheroo. That would let us play the Mystic Archaeologist. Yeah, that actually seems okay. It actually, although this lets us my opponent pull blockers out of the way, I think I would just gotta switcheroo this. Yeah. Go ahead and pass back. Getting rid of this. I think this is one of my opponent's best, like, big game threats. And we do have Dwindle to get rid of the Drake, so. Which I think might be the follow-up, honestly. Oh, another one. Alright. Yep, we'll still take one in the air. Okay, Snapping Drake. We have 6 mana available. We could dwindle the Siegebreaker Giant. And just, hey, I'm gonna try and kill you before you have the opportunity to really, like, go off. We do have Snapping Drake. I mean, we could hit fairly hard, fairly fast. Problem is, if they ever do have the Drake, then we're kind of in trouble. If they had it, they maybe would have played it. I think I'm gonna take the aggressive line. That probably is just bad in this deck a lot of the time. But this is just gonna pull apart blockers a lot of the time too, so that's just not great for us. Let's go ahead and swing with our Giant. If my opponent wants to block, I'd be super happy with that, but that seems unlikely. Opponent goes down to 12 here. And do we want to play Snapping Drake and get that in the air earlier? We do take a big hit from Siegebreaker Giant next turn. But that lets us crack back for quite a bit. Probably forces a block with the Siegebreaker Giant. And we can play Surge Mare as well. It's a little bit more mana efficient than Dwindle, so I think I like that. Alright. This is a little bit all in, but I'm not sure it's bad either. Really would love to find the black for Lich's Caress. We are still running 7 swamps, so we're a little bit color screwed. No dragon? Active treason. Oh, okay. That's going to hit for quite a bit. So now the choice becomes, do we want to trade Snapping Drake away? Definitely could. We trade Snapping Drake away. It slows down the game in general. It's probably good for us. I think getting Siegebreaker Giant off the battlefield is powerful. I guess this is the one that we own, right? Because it just got acted. Gain control target creature, gains haste. Actually doesn't say for sure, but I think that's it. I think we are going to block. So if we're blocking, we may as well use both blocks here. If they have a trick, it's a little bit bad, but still mitigates us a lot of damage. And this way we don't take trampling hits. I think I'm okay with that. I wonder if we should just have double blocked then. I guess probably. Oh, okay, alright. That's pretty good for my opponent. Although, me trading that away still doesn't feel too bad then. Okay. So opponent can't actually get any value out of that. We did get both Siegebreaker off the battlefield, and we still have Dwindle, so we're not doing too shabby. No real good attacks here, definitely. Just go ahead and pass. But then Mystic Archaeologist maybe can start taking over, so that's pretty good. Opponent still does have 4 cards in hand, and also the ability to sacrifice worthless stuff to the Oracle, like the Sky Scanner and like the Wall of Mist, so we're not quite out of the woods. Uh-oh, this is going to be the Meteor Golem. Alright, rest in peace, Archaeologist. You had a good run. And we actually, I guess we no longer have Rise from the Grave, so Gravedigger's our only hope to get that back. And we'll take one in the air. It's been a common theme with the Sky Scanner this game. Okay, we did find black, that's nice. So this can't actually ever kill off the Wall of Mist, so I guess we're just in pass mode here. And do want to play fast, because it's not looking impossible to go to a game 3 here. And this deck kills very, very slowly. Okay, opponent, another Meteor Golem? This is big. Ooh, Bog Stomper. Fair enough. Actually is pretty good against our deck. It's a good sideboard card. That's funny. So probably just have to dwindle that. Ooh, okay, Patient Rebuilding online. We can't really afford to take a hit from Bog Stomper though. So I think we have to wait for this for one turn. Not my favorite thing, but that's okay. I think we do have to dwindle that just to keep from dying in general. A Patient Rebuilding will be on next turn. Opponent's still got 21 cards in their library. This means it's a 6-turn clock. Okay, yep. Pitching the Dark Dweller, and they got a shock out of the deal, which is 2 points of damage to the face, but not super relevant either. Sky Scanner is slowly killing us. Yep. Right. A Doom Deserter, which is quite good at the Oracle. And this card seems pretty good, actually. I've been impressed with just how it's played out, and I don't think even think my opponent's deck is like crazy tailored for it. They just have a couple of random synergies. Right, Patient Rebuilding. I don't know how patient we can be, but let's rebuild some stuff. Okay, and yeah, still just holding up the lack of blockers. They do have the Fiery End or whatever, so they could like shoot something big, which would be unfortunate. On upgrading their Doom Dissenter and finding Abnormal Endurance. That would let the Meteor Golem get in for a turn. Pretty big deal, actually. Oh, on the Sky Scanner. Okay. I think that's probably reasonable, too. Come on, give us a flyer. Oh, no! Sure Strike. Oh, man. Patient Rebuilding. Twice denied. Twice denied. Okay, let's jump out of this game real fast. We only have 6 minutes to kill our opponent next game. It's gonna be tough. Still don't think we're changing much, really. What seems bad? Just like nothing, really, right? Everything just still seems as good as it's ever gonna be. Chaos Wand seems great against my opponent. Yeah, let's run it back. Hope to get lucky and finish off my opponent really quickly. We took a long time on game 1. Alright, would like to play first for sure. And a Find Hand. Let's go ahead and keep. Starting off with Wall of Mist, certainly. We probably will play the, well, I don't know. Do we want to beat down with Archaeologist? It does like run to shock. The upside of this being around late in the game is really high. But we may actually need to play it just to try and be aggressive here. Since we don't have a mill card in our opening hand, we're not extraordinarily likely to draw one early on and just get our opponent that way. And milling does take a long time. I think with that in mind, I actually am going to play the Mystic Archaeologist. This runs into shock very badly, which it looks like my opponent may have because they didn't have 6. Oh no, never mind. It did go to their turn already. They didn't have it, so we did get a Mize a couple points of damage, which is nice. Get them, boys. Or one person. We also have double black this time, so that's cool. And Snapping Drake, like the Oracle, we are not willing to trade for the Archaeologist, so that will end our offensive on the ground. Ooh, Lich's Crest is a great draw. My opponent doesn't seem to be stuck on 2 mana though. Snapping Drake is a clock. And we're still drawing cards off Archaeologist. Your opponent may have mulliganed 1 time too many here. My opponent's debating attacking. I don't think there's actually a good reason to, unless they have a follow-up, and it kind of didn't seem like they did. Yeah. Go ahead and go to attacks with the Snapping Drake. Take my opponent down to 15. And draw some sweet cards off the Archaeologist. No real reason to do that main phase, since we don't have a... We've already hit our land drop. Okay, they did hit another mountain, so it looks like they have at least a play. Sky Scanner. Fair enough. A Patient Rebuilding. We can get that online, I guess. That's another way we pressure my opponent's game plan. Probably better in Surge Mare, like Gravedigger, or anything like that at this point. Is it better in drawing more cards, though? Yeah, you know, I think it probably is. It still is like a draw engine, too. It's not just milling our opponent. We'll probably get to draw an extra card or 2. Every couple of turns. Okay, still swinging with Snapping Drake. The 1 damage from Sky Scanner doesn't scare me too much. Play our Patient Rebuilding. And start pulling apart my opponent's deck just a little bit as well. Okay, cool. So they did find their black source. They definitely had a bit of a rough draw here, and we had a pretty good one. Oh, okay. Rest in peace. Probably going to kill off the Snapping Drake, I'd imagine. Although Archaeologist has got to be awfully tempting, too. Either way, we can steal it back with a Gravedigger. We're not doing too poorly. I guess I'd probably honestly rather them shoot the Archaeologist. It's a hard spot to be in, though. Okay, they are killing the Archaeologist. Means they do need to find another answer for Snapping Drake that may indicate they've already got an answer for Snapping Drake. Let's always yield to that. Oh wow, we hit 3 lands. Well, that's what we call an embarrassment of riches. Let's go ahead and swing with our Snapping Drake for sure. Getting about down to 9. Could play Gravedigger plus Surge Mare, although Gravedigger brings us back a card, which actually isn't fantastic right now. I think we'll play Sky Scanner plus Surge Mare. I guess that draws this card too. Alright. Yeah, actually, maybe it would have been better the other way. Just trying to play a little bit fast since we are pretty close to the end of our clock. Okay, they got the Bone Drake. We've got Switcheroo for that though, which is going to be an unpleasant surprise for my opponent. We can also just Lich's Crest it. Switcheroo seems better though. Oh my goodness, we're just hitting like all of their lands. So we have 7 mana. We can Dwindle plus Gravedigger or just Switcheroo. We Switcheroo, we swing. We probably have lethal then. Trade that for that. They can't sacrifice it right now, which is pretty nice. Okay. And we will swing. I guess that if we swing with everything there, that means most stuff is lethal. We're still at really high life total, so I think it's okay. A little bit interesting. That might, again, mean they have an answer for the Bone Drake in hand. Wow, man, this Patient Rebuilding has been nuts. It's drawn us 5 cards. Okay. Harpy can stall, although we can actually kill it unless they have something else, then my opponent's dead. Okay. Ooh, I think we're actually going to win a match. It was a nail biter right here at the end. It definitely took a long time, but I think we are going to get there. Okay, we will Lich's Crest the Harpy and ask them, I guess, if they've got something else instant speed. they had another shock, that would do it. I guess, have we not seen the shock? I thought my opponent played a shock. I guess that was last game. That's right, to do 2 damage to our face. Okay, that is enough. We managed to take down 1 match with our mill deck, and we even won one of the games by milling, so that's pretty sweet. 1-1. The dream is still alive. We can still go 2-1 and reclaim the honor of playing the mill deck and getting a winning record. I'll see you guys for match 3. Alright, welcome back for our 3rd and final match. I think this hand's pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep. My opponent is also kept, which bodes poorly for us since we haven't beaten an opponent that hasn't mulliganed yet, but that's alright. That's alright. I have faith. Wall of Mist is a great draw. Especially against what is frequently going to be an aggressive deck. Ooh, okay. This could be like the spells matter sort of deck. Enigma Drake actually is going to be kind of a problem for us if my opponent can run out a couple of those. Just very, very big and relatively hard for us to deal with. I mean, we do have like Dwindle and stuff. It's not impossible, but... Okay. Anticipate in response to our Wall of Mist. I like my opponent's game plan. And let's see what my opponent's up to. Again, hopefully no Enigma Drakes. Enigma Drakes are bad for our health. Oh dear. Okay. I think we realistically need to find like Dwindle as an answer to that. I think we're just gonna Divinate. The problem with this deck is it's very likely to have a lot of flyers, and our deck actually, despite being quite good at coming up the ground, is not great at dealing with flyers. Yeah, I think Divinate over Arcane Encyclopedia is better earlier on, so we're just gonna do that. Ooh, a lot of lands. We do have our single Lich's Crest, which is one potential answer to Enigma Drake, and it's possible they don't have tons of this sort of effect. Okay, pitching a land off Tormenting Voice, they're not going crazy aggressive about Enigma Drake. They might be a little bit flooded as well. And flooded actually, like, obviously you never hope to draw all lands, but in this deck it's not too bad. Arcane Encyclopedia does give us a place to put those extras. Okay. I guess we'll play our Snapping Drake and just pass back here. This might run into something like a Shock or Essence Scatter. Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna take another 3 from the Drake next turn. We're gonna have to Lich's Crest it. Blue-red's unlikely to have recursion for creatures, so they probably won't be able to bring that Enigma Drake back. Okay, Wall of Mist. Yeah, I like my opponent's game plan. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a matchup where we're going to miss not having more of this effect. I wonder if this set's just kind of removal light. I feel like I did not see a whole lot of kill spells. So there's Essence Scatter. There is Cancel in this format. Play around Cancel? I don't know if we can. We'll just have to hope my opponent doesn't have it, I think. Okay, cool. Okay, and now I think we're in a pretty good spot. We're gonna have Arcane Encyclopedia online next turn. Ooh, Sarkhan's in Sealing? I love this in my sealed deck. I guess you only need to really trigger it once or twice to be happy with it, but it's not what I would think of when I think of the spells deck. Okay, I'm gonna play Arcane Encyclopedia and just plan on drawing here. I don't think Surge Mirror actually does too much for our game plan, and I really want to find like a mill source sooner rather than later. So digging a little bit deeper I think seems good. I mean, it's possible to just play like a huge thread. Okay. Salvator of Secrets is like a good card. It's not getting back anything that's too busted. Tormenting Voice, okay. Keep digging deeper. Okay, Arcane Encyclopedia draws us a card, another land. Ooh, Patient Rebuilding, that's exactly what we want to see. So we can actually play that and Surge Mirror, which is nice too. Alright, and we are off to the races. Yeah, I do think this card is very good, but I also think it's pretty deck dependent. I'm not sure my opponent's in the deck for it. Pitching a Mountain off Tormenting Voice. Does look like my opponent's having a little bit of trouble with Flood. Okay, and it's Arcane Encyclopedia of their own. Yeah, maybe outside of Enigma Drake, this is actually a better matchup than I would have given it credit for. We get at least one land there, which is nice. Do we want to Rise from the Grave? How big is Enigma Drake in our deck right now? It's just a 2/4. Boggart Brute's kind of whatever. Infernal Hellion's kind of whatever. It is a big blocker, I guess. I guess it does synergize with Sargon's Unsealing as well. I kind of want to play it just because it's kind of free this turn. I guess maybe let's draw first. See if that finds us something we'd rather do. Yeah, I don't really want to switcheroo either. Yeah, maybe I just sit on my hands. We could find something better for Rise from the Grave. I guess we do. It feels a little bit bad to not cast anything this turn, but I don't really want to cast. Like, I feel like it's not great value for either of these effects. One draws up Arcane Encyclopedia. Way down to about a 4-turn clock. Okay. That's either gonna have to get dwindled or switcherooed. Alright, let's see if we can draw some more cards. Okay, Rogue's Gluft, Psy, Master Thopterus, whenever you cast an artifact spell. Okay, opponent's doing a couple of things. Ooh, Psychic Corrosion's good. That'll definitely speed up the game plan here. I do want to utilize Arcane Encyclopedia. I guess we could have done that, actually. Well, no, I guess that doesn't matter too much. I guess we're just gonna keep drawing cards. Oh, okay, yeah. Even Wind Mage was a pretty good draw. Oh, that's right. We were gonna dwindle the Gargoyle. I got lost track of time with all of our sweet synergies over here. Or lost track of the game plan. But actually taking 3 from the Gargoyle Sentinel is kind of unnecessary and not real good. I'm not sure it's gonna matter in here, but that was a little bit loose. Oh, switcheroo. Fair enough. Yeah, I think that the Wall of Mist, we're going to sideboard a couple of those out. They do not seem great in this matchup. Will you take 5 here? I mean, this is not an insignificant amount. Sargon's Unsealing just seems bad for my opponent's deck, though. Oh, okay, that's enough. I guess that's true. I can't even attack yet. My opponent's just like, we're just done. Which I think is probably fair. They don't really want to show off more of their deck, probably. So they have a switcheroo as well. Enigma Drake's Public Enemy #1. But I think the biggest thing we get out of that is that, like, Wall of Mist just are not great. Probably want Divinate. I could see wanting Mind Rot, or at least not being unhappy with Mind Rot. I think we cut, like, both Wall of Mist. Surge Mare is probably good enough to stay in. My opponent's going to have some ground threats, so having access to them is not, like, the worst for sure. We want another Rise from the Grave? Nah, I don't know, Rise from the Grave has been a little bit disappointing in general. Yeah, I think this looks okay. Let's run this back. Well, that was our fastest mill victory. That felt pretty good. And another pretty good hand here. Opponent mulligan down to 6. Yeah, my opponents have not been able to catch the break on mulligans in these matches. And you know, a lot of decks that ordinarily would not be that fantastic do look a lot better when your opponent is consistently playing with 1 less card. Yeah. Lightning Mirror. This does not have haste. Can't be blocked by blue creatures, though. Ooh, man, Lightning Mirror kind of wrecks us, doesn't it? Ooh, dear. We have, like, no answers for the Sky Scanner. It's, like, our best answer? Uh-oh. Are we just gonna die to Lightning Mirror in our basically mono blue deck? That's pretty funny. I mean, it's also horrifying, because we're probably gonna lose, but... Lightning Mirror, huh? Alright, well, we'll take it for sure. Why can't you block? Okay. Gargoyle Sentinel. Another problematic card for us. Although it does use up pretty much all of my opponent's resources to use it every turn. We're going to Divinate now. I really want to find a Sky Scanner. I guess Gravedigger will be able to block the Lightning Mirror next turn. Even if we don't get any value, we may just have to run that out. AS1 switcheroo. Right. Yeah, this is a much better start for my opponent. Much more aggressive. Okay, yep. Just getting in for damage. Surge Mare looking pretty embarrassed here. It would be good against this sort of card in general, but... Okay, Patient Rebuilding's kind of good. We could switcheroo, although Surge Mare is a card they can actually use against us. A lot of opponents can't. What's the realistic play? Gravedigger. Probably just need to do that, right? I guess switcheroo can't happen this turn anyway. Right, Gravedigger. No value, but it is a black card in a sea of blue cards. Hopefully my phone doesn't like shock this. That would actually be super embarrassing. Gin of Wishes. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Here's the battlefield with 3 wish counters. Remove a wish. Reveal the top card of your library. So we're gonna try and switcheroo that. You may cast it, right? Just straight up. No play for my opponent just yet. We could mind rot, although I think I just want to the Jin as soon as we can here. And switch. We're trading a pretty sweet horse for this sweet Jin, so I feel like my opponent's probably okay with that trade too. So we can pay 4 and just play cards. We're still a little ways away from doing that, but denying my opponent the option's pretty good, and it's just a 4/4, so it'll block like the Gargoyle Sentinel well. If they have a switcheroo back, it's embarrassing, but what you gonna do? If you're switcheroo. Alright, yep, fair enough. The opponent still doesn't really have an attack this turn, but you know, which is gonna be a problem. Okay, so what's the line here? Probably need to totally lost the Jin and still just buy time, hoping to find like Lich's Caress. The problem is something like Dwindle doesn't actually even really effectively answer the Jin, but I guess we're just in stall mode, right? We could play like Patient Rebuilding, but we're taking 7 in the air on its own that way. It's just too much. Yeah. I don't really love this, but we do what we have to. So I imagine they'll just replay it, which means it's like kind of a time walk for us, or a slow one. They played something else, which I don't think they would. We'd be happy to mind rot it, but I think that's pretty unlikely that they just go for anything but the Jin again. Yeah. Okay, Encyclopedia doesn't do what we want. I could Chaos Wand and just hope to hit something good. I think that's actually our best line, which is not a super fantastic line, but I think it is our best line. My opponent has some counter magic in their deck, so it's very possible this whiffs. Oh wow. We revealed a lot of cards. I wonder if they actually don't have that many spells. Phantom. Yeah, they actually kind of don't. Interesting. They've got like Switcheroo. That's kind of it. Okay, well, I don't think we're winning this game. Blue-red deck that doesn't have spells. I guess we'll definitely pull out Chaos Wand. I don't want Duress to get rid of Switcheroo, but I also feel like in a deck that has so few spells, Duress just isn't going to be very good. Okay, opponent playing with Gin of Wishes, hits Salvager of Secrets. That's so weird. Playing Salvager with the ability to get back just a couple of cards. I mean, getting back Switcheroo is obviously great, but yeah, I mean, we are taking it down to 7. My opponent has lethal if we don't have an answer for the Jin next turn. I think we just got a Chaos Wand again, right? We don't have any other option, really. Hope that we hit something better. Guess we get a look at my opponent's entire deck. Pretty close to it. Tormenting Voice. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Sure, we'll play Tormenting Voice. My opponent already knows about the rebuilding, I guess. Draw some cards. Not really sure what we're hoping to find. Dwindle keeps us alive, actually, doesn't it? Only just barely, but it does keep us alive. Okay, we're not dead. We are quite close to dead, but we are not dead. So we'll keep struggling along here. Does look like they only have 1 Enigma Drake. Yeah, not many spells. Like I said, I think we'll probably pull that out. Oh, Disperse. Okay. Just got us then. So they had a couple more things in their deck. Maybe we were just kind of unlucky with Chaos Wand. I'm not sure there's a card that we want the high chance of just getting unlucky, though. Maybe Dress is better. Maybe there are just enough hits and we really do want to get Switcheroo in this matchup. Maybe we want just some more like Hired Blades. Probably not, given what my opponent's shown us. They probably have some amount of Mists still in as well. wonder if Surge Mirror is worse than Wall of Mist, since there's a not like insignificant chance that it'll end up getting switcherooed. In which case my opponent, it's actually a better card for my opponent. That's probably crazy though. We just want the better card for us. Yeah. Ignore that. I guess we're gonna play Duress. Ugh. Got such a high chance of missing, but if I can like snag switcheroo, it's so good. Because I think that's just our best two cards in the deck. Wow, look at this black. I guess we'll keep. Not in love with this, but I guess we'll keep. Opponent mulligan down to 6 again. Put a card on top. Do want to find blue. If we find a blue source, we can divinate, and then we're not doing terribly though. We do have Mind Rot in the meantime as well. Ooh, interesting. Goblin Motivator. Okay, opponent going maybe more ham this game. We do not have blue yet. No follow-up? Just swing with the Motivator? Oh yeah, Motivator of Shame. Perfect. Blue's still probably our best draw. We will just Mind Rot. Most efficient. It is a little bit annoying at this point because my opponent gets to take their 2 worst cards out of 5. But I think we need to be as mana efficient as possible. Opponent anticipating in response, giving themselves just a little bit more information before they have to discard. I do stand by the fact this was a keep, even though it hasn't drawn out fantastically for us. We have 11 blue sources. Like, we're going to make it most of the time. They pulled out 2 lands. That means they probably still have a good number of lands. 4 cards overall. And pulling lands out, even though that's not fantastic, early on that does still potentially, like, kind of stunt their growth. Hearted Deckhand. Create of a spell or ability. This is pretty close to unblockable. Yeah, these Surge Mirrors are just looking embarrassingly bad. We don't have very many spells that actually target, so we're gonna keep taking 2 from that guy for a while. Still no blue. Oh man, not like this. Not like this. It's kind of looking like this, though. Alright, so we take 3. My opponent's maybe working on lands. Okay, they don't have any follow-up. Okay, we did find Island. The game's not over. We may need to switcheroo for the deckhand at some point, although you don't have any targets for that just yet. I think just Snapping Drake probably keeps Motivator from attacking, which is nice. Oh, they've got the Acid Scatter. Maybe could have played around that. Could have gone for Divination instead. Not sure that's correct, though. But maybe could have. Probably going to Rise from the Grave the Snapping Drake next turn. Ooh, Rogue's Gloves. We need to find a way to get rid of that deckhand ASAP. Next turn, my opponent will probably equip it up. And I guess I'll probably switcheroo at that point. Okay, the fact that we found blue means I want to use the Surge Mirror, I think. And I'll switcheroo that for the deckhand next turn. My opponent's probably going to stick the Rogue's Gloves on it and go for it. Yep. They get to draw a free card here, but then we do take care of the unblockable threat, and they have to pay to re-equip the Rogue's Gloves next turn, or we get to draw cards, so. We are down to 9, that's a low life total. But we found our land sources. My opponent still seems like they're low on gas. Pitching those lands may have hurt them a fair amount. Man, it comes in. Problem is the Surge Mirror can still swing, can't it? Because we can get that back and it's tapped, but then they just equip it up and that doesn't feel real good either. We could play like Divination plus the Wind Mage. We take another 2, they draw another card. They're drawing a card anyway if we switcheroo, right? Or at least potentially. And the Surge Mirror is actually a little bit annoying to give to them. I think I might be on the Divination Wind Mage plan, actually. I don't know if that's good or not. At least then we have the Wind Mage to block next turn. Oh, Dwindle. Okay, so we can actually just get rid of this now, right? Okay, that's actually not so bad for us. Okay, that actually worked out quite well. Happy with that. Rest in peace, deckhand. Still have Switcheroo, still have the Wind Mage, still have Rise from the Grave to get something good with a Hellion. Okay. So that hits for a lot. Do we go down to 2 against this deck or do we chump? I really don't like chumping. Oh, he misclicked. Oh man. Oh, that's brutal. I don't really know what to do about that though. Oh, that's brutal. Another Surge Mare. Well, that would be the only thing we could play. Although I guess we can rise from the grave, the Snapping Drake, and probably just chump block for value. Yeah, that misclick was rough. I don't really know what to do about it. We're gonna play the Surge Mare and rise from the grave our Snapping Drake. Maybe what I'll do is I'll play out the match and try and go for the victory still, but if it looks like my opponent could have killed us, maybe we'll kill. I don't know, it's kind of hard to play it exactly as it would have played out. Would I have chumped in that case? I don't know. Okay, Rogue's Gloves. Yeah. Rough for my opponent. Oops, that's not what we want to do. We want to go to blocks. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, because like last turn, I say I'd probably chump block. We take 2, we go into 7, actually. But my opponent doesn't play like the Rogue's Gloves, like... Oh, okay. Disperse is actually... Well, I guess it's okay. My opponent is going to get a draw card off of this, which makes it a little bit better. The Hellion's still going to go into the graveyard, though. Or into the deck. The opponent replaces there, gets in a couple points of damage, bounces the Surge Mare. Like, none of that seems gross or anything. I would like to find blue still. I'd like to play Surge Mare plus the Wind Mage. Yeah. Draw. And let's just get in with the Snapping Drake. We actually have like a reasonable beatdown clock here now. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. So I guess I should just stop talking about it. Ordinarily, if it's like a removal spell they misclick or something, it's like you just play like you don't have that creature. But kind of complicated because like a lot of events come off of that being incorrect. Dream Phantom. Okay, pretty good card. Obviously great with the deckhand. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, Arcane Encyclopedia. That's pretty good too. Another land's not great for us. Oh, I shouldn't have played it. I maybe should have swung with the Surge Mare and tried to find something there. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. I'm gonna swing with Snapping Drake. I think I need to leave the Even Wind Guide back to try and block. I think if I could go back and replay that, I would probably try and swing at the Surge Mare and find more gas and pitch the land, but too late for that now. Salvager of Secrets. Probably getting back like Anticipate? Maybe Disperse. Okay. Disperse. Not really sure what they hope to steal. I mean, it does make Switcheroo worse. Okay, I think we're gonna follow our same advice and swing with Surge Mare this time around. And hope to find a little bit more gas. This does potentially take us, or let my opponent get in for like damage or something along the line, but maybe we switcheroo the Surge Mare after this if we don't find anything. I think we need to try and pressure a little bit more. Like, we're not winning this game on board. Let's see how my opponent blocks, if they block. I think I'd rather actually kill off the Salvager Mage, maybe. Can only kill one of them. Do we want to kill off the Phantom? I think the Salvager is actually a bigger threat. Maybe that was a bad attack. Switcheroo just is not great. I just don't have anything poopy to get them. Sky Scanner is probably like our single best draw for that reason. Fermenting Voice, pitching an island. So they can't equip up the Rogue's Gloves and the Encyclopedia now. Ooh, or just play a Fire Elemental. So we may have to steal that. Oh yeah, it gets to attack. Yeah, it's kind of bad. I'm not sure we played this game fantastically. I think we're gonna go down to 2 though. Gravedigger. The Gravedigger can bring back Surgemare. Gravedigger can also be swapped for the Fire Elemental. Start with this, bring back Surgemare. Yes, we do want to use the ability. I think just play Surgemare, try and trade it for the Fire Elemental. We leave that back to block. Try and trade there. Oh, wait. Oh no, we actually tapped incorrectly if we wanted to do that, didn't we? Oh man, that was pretty bad misplay too. Oh man, we're punting the game away here right here at the end. Okay, so I guess we have to plan on double blocking then probably. We double block. My opponent got back Disperse though, right? Yeah, they did. They totally have Disperse. So we just chump block in that case. So we chump block with Gravedigger. My opponent doesn't have another target on battlefield. That blocks, or I guess they disperse away something. What if they like disperse Gravedigger before combat? We chump block. They draw another creature that can get in, we're dead. So I think actually we can't even attack here. Yeah, not keeping up the mana for Surgemare was bad. Nothing to be done about it just now. We've been kind of a rough spot because of the Arcane Encyclopedia for a little while. My opponent's just drawing extra cards pretty aggressively. Yeah, not keeping up the mana for Surgemare was pretty rough. But it could like just massively multi-block. Problem is then they could kill off both of these cards. And then Supreme Phantom starts to get us pretty quick. Oof, I think we gotta block. Yeah, that chump block though, that chump block. It's okay. Good reminder that we need to be a little bit more cautious with our mana, especially with Surgemare. Okay, actually, Inferno Hellion's not terrible with Switcheroo. Because this is a pretty good blocker. Like, it'll trade for the Fire Elemental at least once or something similar. The Surgemare trades with Snapping Drake. If they have anything, we're still just kind of dead, but I think we do just need to go for it. Yeah, I think we misplayed pretty poorly, or pretty badly in this game. This can just be a huge threat too, so that has to be blocked, that has to be blocked, that has to be blocked. If they have any creature, we're still in trouble. Oh yeah, Disperse. Yeah, and Disperse just completely wrecks Switcheroo. We even knew about that card. I think this is the game, and I don't think it's particularly close. Yeah. Alright, well, I think we played pretty okay up until the very last game, but that last game needed a little bit of work. We splurged a lot of value away. And because of it, ended up going 1-2 in the series, which is disappointing to say the least. It was the first draft of the format, and, you know, it's not going to go well every time, but I think this is one of the better chances we were going to have to try, like, a true mill deck. Having access to Psychic Corrosion plus Patient Rebuilding is probably about as good as you could hope for. We were light on removal. I think that was kind of our biggest failing. Playing Dwindles is not your favorite way to get things done. And our walls were kind of okay, but not great. We actually lost a matchup where it was super ground poundy anyway, which is not great. But the deck was sweet. Hopefully it was really fun for you guys to see. I may not have a chance to play another mill deck for quite some time, maybe not even in the format in general, so it was good to scratch that off the list right off the bat. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone that stuck through to the end. I know these matches or these series are often pretty long, so it means a lot to still be talking to you guys. I'll see you guys next time.